So what is it about? Obviously, you were saying that like you like the fact that it was a Rust desktop, the Rust desktop coming up. But like,
Yeah.
what is it about Cosmic that drew you to it besides that? Because you could make a Rust desktop and it could be garbage and no one ever wants to touch it. But like, is there anything about you know what the desktop was doing at the time, their vision for the desktop, or anything like that that made you want to stick around with it?
I think kind of the silliest thing that I was really interested in was the panel customization. I liked that no matter who I saw using Cosmic, they all had different panel configurations, and that seemed to be something that was heavily prioritized was customization.
Mm,
Uh, and I know that like KDE Plasma has customization, but it's kind of hard to access. I mean, there's a lot of settings,
mm,
and
mm.
being able to customize your setup quickly is you know, kind of a thing I like to do. I mean, I switch desktop environments all the time. I switch configurations all the time. So I like that Cosmic was, you know, aiming to be able to provide all those customization things quickly and easily. So that was, I guess, one of the other things other than it being Rust. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm very much a Rust shill. So that was kind of my primary thing was like I like that they're building up the desktop Linux stack in Rust
Mm,
because we have like the Rust kernel stuff going on. We have more of that in the lower level, but there wasn't a lot in the graphical range
mm,
of
mm,
things.
mm.
Like they're they're building Cosmic Comp, which is set to be one of my favorite compositors once they iron out some more issues. And just Iced in general is a really good graphics stack. And for a while, I was using that for some of my, my personal projects that never really saw the light of day.
Mm.
But I don't know. I just like Rust, and it was fun to contribute to, and felt nice to be a part of that. I haven't really been able to contribute that much recently, just because after college I got a got a day job,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
every time I come home, I'm just kind of tired, and I'm like, okay, what can I maintain that I've built, and haven't really thought about doing any new things. But yeah, I know you say that a lot in your videos that open source contributors oftentimes if they're not working on it full time, then
Mhm.
you're losing out on a lot of people who could contribute.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
people who, would really like to work in open source, but just now, like, there's just not the work there. Like, you just don't
mhm.
have that many open positions, and the ones that are open, there are people that are very experienced to fill them. It's not like you're getting, it's a bit different from trying to get a job at some big tech company like Google where there's thousands of employees.
Yeah,
It's a different problem where there's not many people, but everyone who's trying to get it is very skilled, and
yeah,
because it's like you're gonna get less pay working at getting contract work at KDEV or doing work at System 76 is not going to be like that top end developer pay. The people who want
hmm
it are very dedicated to wanting to work in this space.
yeah. It's a high skill ceiling just because everybody who does open source, I imagine would love to do that. I mean,
Mhm.
I'd love to do it. I know that in like the late spring when I was graduating from college, I actually did reach out to System 76 and I was like, hey, you guys have any job openings ever? Just let me know. I don't think since then they've had a software engineer opening, which is it just kind of shows that uh, you know they have to kind of remain small because they're
Mhm.
working on something that's free
Yeah.
with the Cosmic Desktop, and it always amazed me in general just how they end up turning a profit. I know it's all in their hardware, but it's very awesome that they actually dedicate time to something that's completely free with the Cosmic Desktop.
Well, I
I know
see
there are a
people
lot of
talk about sorry about that. So
no,
there's
that's
a bit of
okay.
delay. I see people talking about Cosmic being developed by System 76. It's developed by a company, but they don't realistically have that many paid engineers working on it. I think it's
Yeah,
like four or five. Like, it's really not that many people.
yeah. It's Michael, Ashley, Jeremy, Victoria. Honestly, that might just be it. It might just be those four. But
Like,
yeah, that very small amount of people,
Mhm.
and they're able to build an entire desktop in just a couple of years.
Mhm.
Granted, they've had like external contributors, but
Sure.
it's one of those things where it's 90% them. So
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like every project's gonna have external contributors, but you've seen if you go to like any big GitHub project, you're gonna see the person who started the project and it's like 10,000 commits, second place, 500. It's like there's
yep.
dealing with this massive drop off in pretty much everything. There are very few projects that have active contribution from more than even more than one person, but sometimes you'll see a project be handed off, like WL Roots, which got handed off from Drew
Yeah.
DeVault to Simon Sir.
Simon.
But
Yeah.
like GNOME, for example, or KDE is a massive exception where you have lots and
Mhm.
lots of active contributors.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I could nerd out about KDE as well
Mhm,
because I think it's my second favorite desktop behind Cosmic.
mhm.
It's definitely my favorite stable desktop, and it's actually the one I daily drive most of the time because as a working man, I can't really tinker with a semi-working desktop most of the time. But once Cosmic is fully stable, I'm going over there just to like dog food because I need to be sure that any bugs I see there I can resolve on the Fedora end. So
Do you have a secondary machine that you run Cosmic on, or?
I do, yeah. I have a like an old two-in-one that I run Cosmic on. I sometimes will run Cosmic on my NVIDIA machines to varying degrees of success, but I think over even the past year and like a couple months that I've been on Linux, I've seen the NVIDIA support just go from like almost nothing on Wayland to basically fully supported, and it's really cool to see. I know that
You joined at a really good time because you joined at like the
I
tail end
did.
of things being bad. Like just as Nvidia started actually caring about doing things on Linux.
Absolutely. How long have you been using Linux for?
Um, I want to say about 4 or 5 years.
Mm. And are you still in college or are you graduated now?
I graduated. Yeah, I'm not doing YouTube full time, but like pretty much full time. I still have a second job, but how long that
Nice.
sticks around, we'll see. We'll see when
Yeah.
I feel like getting rid of it. For right now, it's
Well, I
not
mean,
it's not that big of a deal. It's a bit of extra money.
yeah, yeah. It's exciting to think about going to YouTube full time though.
Mhm.
I bet. Um,
It's definitely
but
weird.
yeah,
My parents are always like, "Hey, when are you gonna get a job?" Like, let's not talk about that.
yeah, you're like, this is my job. I mean,
Mhm.
uh, yeah. I remember there was a time when I did YouTube back in high school, but I could never have called that a job.
Mhm.
I got very into a mobile game called Geometry Dash. I don't know if you've heard of
Yes,
it.
I'm aware of Geometry Dash.
Yeah, I was I was big in their community. I was actually the owner of their forums. I was what they called a moderator, which is somebody who can like send levels directly to the game's creator.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, after a while, I just got kind of bored of it, and I kind of ghosted that entire community. I feel kind of bad about that, but like,
Okay, sure. It's always fun when I bring people on, and it's just I get some random lore that wouldn't be obvious from what they do now.
yeah, it's like it's very different. Like, and the only difference between my username now and in Geometry Dash is I added an X to the end. I was Ryan AB. So
Mhm, mhm,
if
mhm.
somebody who plays Geometry Dash happened to see this, then they'll be like, oh, that's the guy whose levels I've been playing. I used to be in the top 100 creators in the game, but yeah, that ship
Just
has sailed.